Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys had a good night. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. Obviously, you're watching this video. They all get posted on this subreddit right here. It's called DF Sports. I make updates with the news that comes out. You can talk strategy here with other people. You can ask me questions. I'll always reply to you and stuff like that. So it's a really, really great place to be. So, yeah, check that out if that's something you're interested in. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter right here, Shuko or Tori Langley 1992. That's how you get a hold of me on Twitter. And if Discord is something you're interested in, where I have in-depth content going over each slate, I give you player pools for cash and tournaments, I do private videos, I do just a whole bunch of stuff. I give you 4 players to play, give you a cash pool, a tournament pool. I'll show you what the optimal build is, not the full optimal build, but what cash plays, just pretty much everything. That'll be linked down below in the comments. And let's go over my day today. Another just absolutely phenomenal day for me. Call of Duty went well once again. Absolutely nuking Call of Duty. What else went well? Main slate, just absolutely smashed the main slate. Not smash, but like great day on the main slate. Showdown, cash games, once again, smash cash. D'Lo, 80, LeBron, Steph, Vanderbilt, Troy Brown Jr. Absolutely smashed cash games. I don't play cash for main slates, but I've found in NBA showdowns the edge is absolutely massive. D'Lo only 36% owned is just a massive mistake by the field, in my opinion. Just absolutely wild, absolutely wild. Yeah, main slate went very, very well as well. So as you can see, my lineup, the core that I gave a core of 5 today. Core didn't do good, but I ran out my lineup good around it. D'Lo was core, he nuked. Jimmy Butler was core. He was good enough because the late game blew out. Julius Randle was core. He was also good enough because the late game blew out. Dennis Schroeder was core. He was very good. Jordan Poole was fine. So for this slate, the core didn't do that bad. It didn't do that bad. So had some good days in Discord once again. So really, I got to keep the hot streak going for tomorrow. Just a great another up $1,000 yesterday, up a good like $400 or $500 today. It's just been a good, very good run. I was looking at Call of Duty for tomorrow. A really good run for the past 2 days. So let's go over this 2-game slate. So Boston at Philly. So first off, I mean, Jokic is going to be chalk. Devin Booker going to be chalk. Kevin Durant going to be chalk. This game is just going to be insane. Jamal Murray, I expect to be. This game is just going to be insanely popular. Tatum, Brown, Embiid, Harden are all going to go completely underowned in my opinion. So, obviously, I like Jokic, Booker, Kevin Durant. I like these guys way more than Embiid, Tatum, and guys like that. But I have a feeling that they're going to go a bit underowned in tournaments based off the results to last game and with Chris Paul out. So let's go over the slate. So Tatum, Brown, I think they're both good tournament plays just for the reason that I went over. You're going to get similar minutes for both. You're probably going to get over 40 minutes for both. I have a feeling they're both going to go a bit underowned. Jaylen Brown got in a massive foul trouble, so you can't really look at the minutes here. But I think they're good tournament plays just for the sole reason that I think they're going to be underowned with everyone going to that Denver game. So I like Tatum for tournaments. I like Brown for tournaments. This grouping of Horford, Brogdon, Smart, White, I think all look pretty good to me. So Horford at 5-4. I keep hammering it in. The Atlanta series was a terrible, terrible spot for him with the way Boston runs their offense. This Philly series is much, much better for him. So you're seeing better production. So I think Horford's a good play at 5.4. He's just so super safe. So Horford in the mid-range looks pretty good to me. And these guards, they're just too cheap. They all look very good to me. Brogdon, Smart, White. I have a feeling White's going to be the most popular just because you can't fit a bunch of point guards. He has shooting guard the position is relatively weak outside of Booker. And Jaylen Brown, there's just not a lot there, so I have a feeling White will be the most popular. But I just prefer whoever's low owned, right? But if you ask me, without disregarding ownership, this is how I would rank the Boston guards: Brogdon 1, Smart 2, White 3. That's how I'd rank them. But I think all three look pretty good, man. They're all three at least $300 to $400 to $500 too cheap. So I'm pretty high on this Boston mid range here. Once again, that's going to be where you're living in to fit these guys. They're all just underpriced. So I would definitely try to play at least one of these four guys tomorrow. So I like all four quite a bit. I think Robert Williams is a pretty good value play at 4-3. I think he's too cheap. He went to the locker room. He got into foul trouble. He's probably going to play 20, 22 minutes. Pretty good point per minute guy. If Al Horford gets in foul trouble, he could get extended more. So, yeah, price came down. I think Rob's solid for value at 4-3. And then we saw Grant Williams play 23 minutes. I think, he's an okay value. Like, if you really, really need the value, fine, go for it. But I don't love it. I'm not going to be going out of my way to play him, but a fine value at that price tag. Like, okay, would I rather play PJ? I can't believe I'm about to have this conversation. Would I rather play PJ Tucker or Grant Williams? I really don't know. I think PJ Tucker's safer. I really don't know. I don't have a good answer there. Like, I don't. So that's interesting, but both are playable, right? All right, let's go for Philly. So you have a sub 10K Joel Embiid here and a must win. And like I said, everyone, and I mean everyone and their mother is going to be jamming in the Denver and Phoenix guys. So I think Joel Embiid looks phenomenal to me for tournaments, assuming his ownership is lower than it should be. Like if he's like sub 30 to 40% tomorrow, I'm jamming Embiid in. I absolutely love Embiid for tournaments. If he is going to be under-owned, which I expect him to be under-owned, must-win game here. I expect close to 40 minutes from him. I don't think we have to go over why he's a good play. MVP, rebounding's obviously a good, solid, I wouldn't say good, but solid, phenomenal scorer, good defensively, can get those blocks, steals, double upside, right? So, sub 10K price tag, it's just, sign me up for Embiid tomorrow, especially at low ownership, if he's low owned. James Harden at 8-6, I think, is another solid tournament play. Shot the ball 3 of 14, still went for 40 fantasy points. He's just going to stuff the stat sheet. The price has come down to 8-6 too, so I think he's another good tournament play. Tatum, Brown, Harden, Embiid, all really good tournament plays to me. Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, they're just like there for me. They're fine filler plays. I'm fine if I land on one as the last man in. I'm not going to go out of my way to play either, but I'm okay with landing on one. If you want ceiling, I prefer Maxey. If you want the safer floor, I prefer Tobias Harris. But no strong leans there. I think both are solid for like a last man in type thing. And one thing to note, Tobias Harris was actually on pace for close to 40 minutes. He played 8 first half minutes because he got into massive foul trouble. So, yeah, I think Tobias is solid. I might prefer him to Maxey, not straight up, but point per dollar. D'Anthony Melton got extended due to massive foul trouble on Tobias. I think normally we get like 22 to 25 minutes, which does make him a solid value play, but can't expect 4 steals, can't expect 5 stocks. Can't expect 4 out of 7 shooting 60% from 3. Can't expect that again. I have a feeling he's going to go a bit over owned tomorrow, but once again, if we're not considering ownership, he is a solid value play. Would I rather play D'Anthony Melton or would I rather play Robert Williams? I'd much rather play Robert Williams. I know they're different positions. I'm not going to play Reed. I'm not going to play Niang. I'm not going to go to anyone else. Denver. So let's get into the chalk game because everyone absolutely nuked in this game last game. So you know everyone's going to be jamming in everyone in this game. So Jokic looks absolutely freaking phenomenal if you can find the volume to fit him in. I absolutely love Jokic here. Phenomenal play in my opinion. I think Jamal Murray looks very good at sub 8K. Going to play 40 plus minutes. He's also going to stuff the stat sheet. They have no one on this team that can create offense besides these two guys. They don't. They just don't. So Jamal Murray, Jokic, both look very, very good to me. Aaron Gordon, MPJ. I think Aaron Gordon's safer. He's going to play all the minutes he can handle. He's primary defender on KD, so they're going to need him out there. Definitely has a safer floor to MPJ, but doesn't have as high of a ceiling. Just fine. I think I'd rather play Tobias Harris over him, but it's just like fine. Michael Porter Jr. 5'6", I think is actually a solid play. Prices come down. Now the risk with him is he gets cooked off the court and they bench him. But if he's playing well and they need him out there, he'll play big minutes. He does have this type of ceiling. Can't expect a double-double again, but 5'6" does seem a bit too cheap for Michael Porter Jr. So I do like MPJ. Bruce Brown, KCP, I think are both solid values. Sometimes they'll close with Bruce. Sometimes they'll close with KCP. I prefer Bruce. He's just the better point per minute guy. I'll take the less minutes with the better point per minute average and the safer floor than KCP, but I think both are fine values. I prefer Bruce, like I said, to KCP. Jeff Green, I think plays, 15-ish minutes, fine dart for tournaments. I'd rather play Grant Williams or PJ Tucker over him, and then I'm not going to go to anyone else. Let's go over to Phoenix. So more chalk here. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, like I said, with the Denver guys, I think they look phenomenal. They're down, 0-3 or something. They might not. They're not going to leave the court in the second half. They're going to play 44 or 45 minutes. And then once again, look at this team without Chris Paul. Nope, they have no one. Absolutely no one. So you're going to see like 35+% usage rates from these guys. Absolutely huge minutes. Devin Booker, I believe, had 18 or 19 potential assists. So his ball handling's way up. That means his floor plus ceiling combo is way up. Plus the minutes, I think he looks great, even at 10K. Kevin Durant, same type of thing. Ball handling, assists, obviously he's a good rebounder. Just everything way up with no Chris Paul, which also raises his floor, raises his ceiling. So he looks great to me. Ayton got in a massive foul trouble last game, lost minutes. If we look, I want to pull up the rotation for you guys anyway, to look at what the mess that they did with the hot hand situation. But Ayton didn't play the fourth. They closed with Jock Landale. So I think normally we get low to mid 30s minutes from Ayton, which means he's like fine to solid at 6K. I do think if we get mid 30s minutes, he is too cheap. So I like Ayton for tournaments as a bounce back. And then assuming campaign starts, you can't have short-term memory in DFS. I assume he's going to go under-owned tomorrow because he busted this slate. Obviously, the ball handling is going to be a bit down playing alongside Booker and Kevin Durant, but campaign's still like an okay point per minute guy. And if you give him 30 minutes, I think he'll do fine. So I do like campaign once again. I have a feeling he'll go a bit under-owned. And then let's go to the player pool channel, where I want to remind you guys. Okogie, worst chalk play on the slate. Worst play on the slate in general. Because of the Monty Williams quote. 60% owned. 3 fantasy points. That's what you get from being on Reddit, being on Discord. You get these weird updates, weird takes from me. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But let's talk about this rotation. So they're just going to go with the hot hand. They're just going to go with the hot hand. I'd be very careful with Okogie. I'd be very, very careful with Terrence Ross. I'd be very, very careful with Torrey Craig. I wouldn't even play Torrey Craig, but I'd be careful with TJ Warren. I'd be careful with all these guys. I don't even know what I can project them minutes-wise. You saw Damian Lee, DNP. You saw Landry Shamet play 25 minutes. He did terrible. He's a minus 10. TJ Warren was a plus 20. That's actually wild. And then we saw Jock Landale get the backup 5. So Monty Williams, I saw a quote from Monty Williams before Game 3, or Game 2 or 3, whatever they played last game, that they said they wanted to go to Jock Landale as the backup 5. If they continue to do that, you can definitely go there in tournaments. If you're playing 150 lineups, you can definitely do that. I don't know if I can get there in my one lineup, but he's definitely in play for large field tournaments. Landry Shamet, he kind of needs the minutes to get there, so I wouldn't really go to him. And then Josh Okogie, it's going to depend on ownership for me. If he's low owned, I'm fine taking a dart there. But if I were to play one of these punts, I think for me it would be either TJ Warren or Terrence Ross, just because they're both. Listen, if Terrence Ross gets minutes, he's not afraid to shoot the ball. He shot the ball 7 times in 14 minutes. That's what he's going to do out there, right? He's going to chuck the ball. So if I were to play one of these guys off the bench outside of a Koji and Lando, it would be TJ Warren or Terrence Ross. If I had to guess for tomorrow, I think TJ Warren plays the most, but I have a feeling TJ Warren's probably going to be the most popular of the bunch. And there's volatility with all of them. So I personally, for me, in my one lineup, I'm probably just going to stay away from this whole situation. I don't think it's necessary to go there. But if you're playing 150 lineups, this is what personally I would do. I would set a rule. I would set that rule. Max 1 of TJ Warren, Terrence Ross, Josh Koji, Landry Shamet. I would set it so you only get one of those guys in a lineup. Max 1 of that group. And then I would also be underweight on who is the most popular. So, for instance, if TJ Warren is the most popular of the group, I'd probably be like half the field of his ownership. And then I'd be over, say like TJ Warren's 30% tomorrow, which I don't know if it'll be. I'd be like 15% TJ Warren, and say Terrence Ross is like 5%. I'd be like 10% Terrence Ross or something like that. So that's what I would do with that situation. Be under on who's chalk or popular between them. Be over on who's on low owned between them. Now, if they're all low owned, then I feel the best about Warren. But I really have no idea. I have zero idea what they're going to do with this bench rotation. They're going to go with the hot hand. I have no idea. Would I be shocked to see Damian Lee tomorrow? No, I wouldn't be. So, really, really tricky situation and what to do with that bench rotation. So, I hope this video helped you guys out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.